Now, how is the corona situation in the world panning out? What has the global response been like?
Yeah, I wanted to ask one of the most sane voices in this country on the whole COVID experience. Antigen tests have their role, they are important, but when you say our positivity test rate is going down, and frankly it's because you're mixing the two tests, that is misleading. Do both of them have different objectives, but publish your antigen tests separately and your RT-PCR tests separately.
I totally agree with you in this context. We've been saying for a long time that when we look at positivity rate, we should look at positivity rate for RT-PCR and positivity rate for the rapid antigen test. Both tests are useful, they complement each other, but they cannot replace each other. The rapid antigen test, like you rightly said, gives you a result in 15 minutes, but it is useful only in a setup where you have a high number of people who are positive in containment zones. But if you were to look at asymptomatic or mildly symptomatic patients, your rapid antigen test will fail you and you will have to rely on RT-PCR. Unfortunately, we are not doing that. And patients and individuals get a false sense that mera test negative aa gaya, I'm all right and I don't need to get any test done, I'm not infectious. On the other hand, they may be infectious, and because of this false sense, they may go out without proper protection and spread the infection to others. And that is why it's very important that we segregate the two and look at them separately rather than combining the data, because the numbers will look very nice if we combine the two, because then the number of people tested in a particular area will look very good. But the numbers are not the important thing. The important thing is to do it properly. And if we don't do it properly, we will actually not be containing the spread of infection.
कोरोना की वजह से तकरीबन 200 से भी ज़्यादा डॉक्टरों ने मरीज़ों की जो देखभाल कर रहे थे, उनकी चिकित्सा कर रहे थे, उन्होंने अपनी जान गंवा दी. और कई ऐसे स्वास्थ्य कर्मचारी भी थे जो कि कोरोना की वजह से बुरी तरह प्रभावित हुए. क्या आपको लगता है कि हमने अपने स्वास्थ्य कर्मियों का पर्याप्त ख्याल नहीं रखा?
आज 200 से संख्या बढ़ के 515 हो चुकी है.
ओहो, तौबा.
एक डॉक्टर को बनाने में 15 साल लगते हैं. सरकार को, समाज को, हम सब डॉक्टर्स को एकजुट होकर इस राष्ट्रीय धरोहर को बचाना है, क्योंकि डॉक्टरों की संख्या ऑलरेडी बहुत कम है और हम दिन रात बीमारी को अपने घर में भी लेके आते हैं सर, और इलाज में फिर जुट जाते हैं.
A lot of literature that's coming out now is saying that, talking about what's called the super spreader, that there are some people who spread the virus much more than other people. In other words, not everybody spreads it equally. So instead of doing what we are doing now, which is looking ahead, finding somebody and say, don't meet too many people, don't be in contact, look back and see who he got it from, because he may have got it from a super spreader who has infected many people. So if you look back instead of looking forward, you may catch super spreaders, one person who's infected 10, 20 people.
You raised a very important question, because that was the reason why we in the very early stage are saying contact tracing. So if you were, say, at a party and you were tested positive 2 days later, and then you went back and checked on all the people who were actually present at the party, but none of them got it, that means you are not a super spreader, your viral load was low. See, super spreader is not a genetic or an emotional issue. It is a scientific issue that if you carry, a lot of people carry a very heavy load of virus in their upper respiratory tract. On the other hand, you see medical personnel testing, their antibodies are positive. They never knew they got it. So what we are saying is, do they get micro exposures? Do they get little of viral exposures? Their body overcomes it, kills the virus, but it also develops antibodies. You know, you must have seen in the early stages, they had these tests that they did of when somebody coughs, when somebody sneezes, or when somebody talks, how far the droplets go, and what the distance and how long the exposure is. So that's why the origin of masks came from this experiment, that if one person is, you presume, has COVID, the other person does not. They are within 3 feet of each other and their interaction is more than 15 minutes, then the chances of the uninfected person getting infected are extremely high. On the other hand, if the person who's got it is wearing a mask and the one who doesn't is not, that chance, and still within 3 feet and 15 minutes, the chance becomes medium. But if both of them are wearing masks, then it becomes, in the same interaction, then it becomes minimum.
अब हमारे साथ जुड़ गए हैं दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल। अरविंद जी, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत इस कार्यक्रम में।
एक बात हो रही है महामारी से होने वाली थकान की, कोरोना के बीच रोजी रोटी का जो संकट है उसके ऐसे भी सबके जो चुनौती की तरह एक ये संतुलन बनाए रखने की, तो कामकाज के साथ सुरक्षित रहने की कैसे होगा ये सब?
सारी सरकारों के सामने यही सबसे बड़ा संकट है। एक तरफ है कोरोना फैल रहा है और कोरोना फैलने की वजह से लोग बीमार पड़ रहे हैं, कुछ लोगों की मौत हो रही है। दूसरी तरफ अगर आप लॉकडाउन कर देंगे, लोगों को घर में रहने को कहेंगे, तो इकोनॉमी नहीं चल पा रही तो कोरोना से तो बच जाएंगे लोग, इसकी भुखमरी के से मर जाएंगे। तो ये दोनों के बीच में संतुलन बनाना पड़ेगा। 3 चीजों की जरूरत है। लॉकडाउन तो केवल तभी करने की जरूरत है जब हमारी हेल्थ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पूरी तरह से ठीक नहीं है। मान लीजिए आपके पास पीपी किट की कमी है, टेस्टिंग किट की कमी है, अस्पताल में बेड की कमी है, एम्बुलेंस की कमी है, तो आप 10 दिन का 15 दिन का लॉकडाउन कर लीजिए और इसका तुरंत इंतजाम कर लीजिए। पहली चीज। दूसरी चीज, अपने को अर्थव्यवस्था को खोलना पड़ेगा और अर्थव्यवस्था को खोलने की वजह से जो केसेस आएंगे, अपना हेल्थ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर उन केसेस को डील करने के लिए तैयार रहने की जरूरत है। और तीसरी चीज, जो समाज के ऐसे तबके हैं जो बहुत गरीब हैं, जो भुखमरी का शिकार हो सकते हैं, उन तबकों को सरकारों को इमीडिएट राहत देके, जैसे दिल्ली के अंदर हम लोगों ने लॉकडाउन के पीरियड में 2-3 महीने तक 10 लाख लोगों को सुबह और शाम हम खाना खिलाते थे। स्कूलों के अंदर लंगर लगा दिए थे हम लोगों ने, कोई आए कोई खाए, किसी से कुछ नहीं पूछा जाता था। उसी तरह से 1 करोड़ लोगों को हम लोगों ने 2 महीने तक सूखा राशन उनके घर भिजवाया था। तो ये वो तबके जो कि समाज के बहुत ही गरीब तबके हैं, उन लोगों के लिए सरकारों को अलग से इंतजाम करना पड़ेगा।
Social distancing, hand hygiene and masks are extremely critical. In fact, the experts have just shared with us. Bachchan ji भी हमें कह रहे थे कि मास्क के बारे। Poonam, let me come to you first. In fact, Ekdesh has been working towards mask awareness and compliance. And there was a very interesting report which actually said that I think 90% people know that they need to wear masks, but barely 44% wear them. This is about India, and it's a recent thing which Ekdesh did. Tell us about that.
We did this study somewhere in July, and anecdotally we knew that masks is important. There is high awareness on masks, starting from the lockdown onwards, whether it's been the Honorable Prime Minister or other people from the government at the local level. You have the district collector, district magistrate, everyone talking about masks. When we went back and did a study, what we found out was that there is 90% awareness on masks and only 44% people comply. And the reason that we got in the study was uncomfortable, inconvenient. Almost 50% people believe that it's inconvenient to wear a mask. Our larger mission at the moment is how do we mask the billion? We've started with something called a Corona Soldier campaign, which is all about getting people to know that mask pehenna zaruri hai. Wear a mask and become a Corona soldier.
Chini ji, it's really amazing to hear about the key role played by women. How has this changed their standing in the community? Do we see the recognition of the immense leadership role of women in this community response to the pandemic?
It's often said that, a crisis brings out the best in people, that real spirit of humanity. And what we saw in the villages and the urban towns that we work in, that women actually came together. So they have self-help groups, which are actually savings platforms. And these self-help groups actually pledged that they would start stitching masks for their community. So they distributed these masks to their neighbors. and these women also were in the forefront of actually ensuring the precautions around the spread of COVID-19, whether it was physical distancing at common hand points, water points where people went and collected for water. So, it was women who actually made those signs that, you have to maintain that physical distance, ensuring that people in their villages wore masks. In some of the areas that we work in, we also had a large number of migrants who returned, and it was women who actually led interventions on running kitchens to feed these migrants who were kept at quarantine centers till they were able to go back to their homes.
Tini, you're telling us that masks are being made, masks are being stitched, there are masks, but awareness is lacking, and even like Poonam was saying, that they don't want to wear it, compliance. Gaurav, let me come to you and ask you that there is so much confusion about which mask to wear. What is, in your opinion, the ideal mask? And also the right way to wear it, because many times, people just take it out, put it where they don't realize that that could also, be risky to catch the virus.
Absolutely. Very, very important question. But first, thank you for having me on the show. Mr. Bachchan, I'm a very, very big fan of you. So basically, what a perfect mask is something which after every 5 minutes, you don't slide off your nose. Dr. Trehan just raised this same topic, because a mask which is an excellent mask, but if it is worn improperly, is useless compared to a cotton mask if it is worn properly. It's very important people understand how to wear a mask. So I would say that is the first thing, that a mask needs to be very comfortable. Second thing we look at is the filtration levels. So like we say for an N95 mask, we say 95% filtration. That means 95% of the viruses or microbes cannot cross through. Besides this, sir, what's most important is that we follow the WMD, we follow all three things. We have to wash our hands, we have to sanitize. Mask alone is not going to protect anybody. In terms of wearing a mask, I would say that it's very important that after you've worn it the whole day, please take it off without touching the front of the mask. When you wear your mask, hold it from the ear loops and wear it.
Every time you blow out, you said the germs actually stick to the mask?
Of course, sir. If you're sick and you're unwell and you have a cough and you are speaking or you're coughing, the microbes are coming from your mouth out, and that is how they are spreading. So it's extremely important. Now a lot of antiviral masks exist which on contact start killing the virus from the surface. That is what you're trying to avoid. The whole purpose of social distancing is that when someone is coughing or sneezing, the microbes are not going a long distance and infecting everyone around us.
So the key here, I think, is, wear your mask, wear it the correct way, keep washing your hands, sanitizing yourself, and of course maintain social distancing.
Yeah. One of the tests, sorry to interrupt. No. One of the tests, they said if you wear a mask and if you're able to blow a candle out from here, that means the mask is not good.
Correct. There is something called a flame test. So in this, in fact, we do this for all our masks, especially the cotton ones. So we have one called the Savior, which is extremely safe, and that's doesn't even have to reach that parameter. So you put a candle in front and you try to blow it after wearing a mask. And if it doesn't blow, then you have a reasonable amount of safety. So this basically will ensure that if you're 3 to 4 feet away from another person, you are reasonably safe.